Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will talk about the art of letting go, how to release negative thoughts and emotions. We all experience negative thoughts and emotions, but it's essential to learn how to let them go to promote emotional well-being and a positive mindset. So let's dive in.
Letting go can make you unstoppable. I know because I let go of a relationship and reclaimed my life. And I know that letting go can create the best of change for each and every one of you. Let me tell you a story. When I was 41, the death of a relationship showed me how to truly let go of what wasn't working. See, up until that time, I didn't really think about the future. I kind of lived my life like a dog, moment to moment. I chased balls, I ate whatever I could find on the ground. And life was good. I had a great job, great friends, a great apartment, a great actual dog, and a great boyfriend. Well, sort of. See, Hector didn't have any skin in the game, and I felt that. He danced around the very idea of marriage, and after 12 years, we didn't even live together. Still, he gave me hope. Well, sometimes. More like living in a situation that had no hope, just felt normal. Now, don't get me wrong. I stayed because Hector was a good-looking, smart, reliable, and sensitive guy who cared. And while our relationship wasn't perfect, it worked in theory. Until a wake-up call from a friend changed everything. So my realtor friend called to tell me about a condo coming up for sale in my Chicago neighborhood. She knew that I was looking for Hector to commit and thought, well, maybe this could inspire a little forward motion. Still, my first inclination was to say, we're not ready. Not yet. Not yet. That was Hector's favorite catchphrase. I would say, I want to get married. He'd say, not yet. I'd say, let's live together. Not yet. Not yet was a hair I couldn't get out of my eye and a bad song I couldn't get out of my head. So you could imagine my surprise when he said sure to meeting me at the condo at noon. Now, I arrived early and eager, but Hector, well, that was another story. 12:15 came, 12:30, 12:45, 1 o'clock, no Hector. Eventually he called, something has come up, so we agreed to reconvene at 3. But Hector was a no-show again. It was in that moment that I decided, after 12 years, it was time to let go. See, I had to let go of Hector and of the idea of marrying him or anybody, because at 41, my options were scary. I could either stay with a man who couldn't commit but was great on all the holidays and birthdays, or I could break up with him and be alone. Not that letting go of a good man I truly loved was easy. No, I had to survive the consequences of my epiphany, and that's when the pain stage kicked in. You and Hector won't be together forever. You won't be his person. In fact, he'll probably meet somebody else fast, marry her, and she'll be his person. And then you're gonna have to live with the fact that you made a mistake. I ugly cried, ate a lot of pizza, listened to a lot of Joni Mitchell. And then, when I couldn't rub my eyes anymore without hitting bone, or imagine Hector in a wedding photo with another woman, probably in a size 6 dress, I brushed myself off. See, I let go of the fear that I would grow old and die alone, that my friends would use me as a cautionary tale, that it was too late for me. No, in that moment, I had to finally admit what I really wanted, which was more. You see, Hector not showing up, that was a gift in that it gave me my freedom because, let's face it, I've been chasing that ball for 12 years. No, it was time to move on, even if I risked rejection. So I made a plan, one that got clearer with every step. Of course, Hector had an excuse for his no-show, but by then it didn't matter. I told him it was over. I quit my job, I hugged my friends, I sold my beautiful condo in the same neighborhood that delivered me that life-changing epiphany. I let go of everything to start a whole new life in New Hope, Pennsylvania. To which he said, "Don't go, we'll get married." To which I said, "You had 12 years." To which he said, "I'll come visit." To which I said, "Not yet." Was it hard? Oh, you bet. Was it worth it? Within a year of leaving, I met my husband Dan online. I knew when he showed up for our first date in the most wrinkled shirt I have ever seen, with a rain hat to keep me dry walking from the restaurant to the car, that this was my guy. You see, umbrellas were for people who wanted distance. Too heavy a wind, turned them inside out, and even the best of them only lasted so long. But a rain hat, the kind with a string that you tie under your chin that stays on. Now that's personal. And after 4 dates, it turned to love. Finally, I understood why I had to wait so long. Dan was handsome and wise and soulful and kind, and he made me feel like I could do and be anything. We could. And we got married a year later. When I turned 50, Hector died of cancer. And as you can imagine, I grieved for a very long time. But his death reaffirmed for me the promise I made to myself when I was 41, which that I would never take time for granted again. Instead, I would use it to let go, to create space for the things I really wanted and for what mattered most. Here are 5 ways to let go I know work because I still use them every single day. 1, let go of taking things personally. Now, I spent a lot of time wondering why Hector didn't love me enough to marry me until I realized that his inability to commit had less to do with me and more to do with his duty to his family. Now, I'm not saying that wasn't a hard pill to swallow, but there was a lot of peace in knowing that it was his issue and not some defect in me. If people aren't giving you what you want, or if they're just behaving badly, most times, that's their problem, not yours. 2, let go of what other people think. So after my husband and I dated for a couple months, I took him home to meet my parents. "He's very good looking," my mother said. Ted Bundy is very good looking. Now, I could have let this influence my actions, could have let my imagination run wild with thoughts of my new beau stabbing me while I slept. But instead, I just chalked it up to my mother. There is a rule in business that states, whenever you're putting something out there, 10% of people will hate it, 80% will be indifferent, and 10% will be your raving fans. And raving fans are awesome. But if somebody's not a raving fan, let that be okay too. 3, let go of trying to be something you're not. Now, I have this crazy big personality that I actually call the big. Some people really like the big. Some people are fascinated by it, kind of the way they're fascinated by jugglers. And others just run away. But it's who I am. I have tried to turn down the current on the big, but hard as I try, there it is. There are some things we just can't change about ourselves, and that's a good thing. 4, let go of the need to be perfect. Many years ago, I wrote a column for Shape magazine, and I got a lot of mail from readers, including a very sad letter from this teenage girl asking for my advice on how to improve herself after her absolutely horrid boyfriend had her stripped down so he could critique her body. This is a true story. I said, dump him immediately and never let anybody make you feel bad about yourself again. But we all know that feeding the need for perfection is not just about our weight. It's also about keeping the house clean and the dogs groomed and the kids healthy and the bosses happy and all the balls in the air. It's even about keeping our youth intact. And yet, who wants to be friends with someone who's perfect? Think about that. And lastly, 5, my favorite. Let go of not yet. You know, when I left Chicago, my life was pretty good. It just wasn't good enough. If there's something you want to do, make a plan and act, but don't wait. I still grieve for Hector, you know, it just comes in waves now. But it's the phone call I can't make that reminds me to make every day count. And I encourage you all to do the same. Whatever that is, I say, let go for it. Thank you.
Releasing and the AgFlap cap chart. In releasing, they have a chart in the Sedona Method and letting go, releasing, and Lester Levinson's work. They have these charts. They call it AgFlap cap, and AgFlap stands for apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, pride. And what we're going to be looking at specifically today is how to use this chart to spend more time up here in courage, acceptance, peace, in the way I like to look at it. Now, for those of you that have experience with releasing, you're going to find this very valuable. If you don't, I'm going to break it down in a simple way where you can use this chart to start feeling better today. And if you want to learn more about releasing, make sure you check out Sedona Method, make sure you check out Releasing Itself, or make sure you check out some of our programs we have here at Fearless by going to thefearlessman.com, because I think it's one of the most powerful processes for helping to clean up your subconscious mind. Now, we're just going to go into some basics today. To understand what I'm talking about, you need to understand the basics of what this chart is all about, because this is very powerful, guys. Learning to live the bulk of your life in courage, acceptance, peace will change every part of your life. All those goals that are coming into your life will start coming into your life when you're up here around 80% of the time. To me, what I'm always shooting for is like the 80-20 rule. Can I spend more and more time up here and less time down here? I used to be down here almost all the time. I lived pretty much down in apathy, which is like depression. And through years of work and study and processing of my subconscious mind and learning, I've actually learned to live more and more up here in courage, acceptance, and peace. Now, if you're wondering what the I stands for, this is what Lester Levinson said was the ultimate state, the imperturbable state. So this is imperturbability. We're not really worried about that today. What we're looking at is right here. Now, the way I look at it is a lot of clients come to me and they're having trouble with women, they're having trouble with confidence, they're having trouble with social skills. They're typically living somewhere down here. And this area, the bottom 3 emotions, is a very heavy place. If you're primarily living down here in apathy, and you're always bouncing around, but if you're primarily living down here, you're gonna have a lot of sadness or depression in your life. This is gonna be heaviness. This is pointlessness. What's the point? This is when you start numbing out. If I ask you what you're feeling and you're like, I don't feel anything, you're probably in apathy, because you really don't ever not feel something. So if you think you're not feeling something, that's probably some apathetic state. Almost everybody has some apathy in their life somewhere, but there's a small percentage of people that have overwhelming apathy all through their life, and that's some form of depression that needs to be, you really need to take a look at it. There's grief. This is when you come out of apathy and you begin to feel again. This is when all that pain, a lot of times coming out of apathy hurts, because when you go into grief, there's all these emotions that come up that were buried. In some ways it feels better because you're starting to feel again, but in other ways it's like, holy fuck, look what all this shit I'm feeling, and you want to put it back down in apathy, excuse my language, and you want to numb back out again. So apathy is really about overwhelm. Grief is, I don't know what to do, but there's got to be somebody that can help me. And apathy is, I don't know what to do, there's nobody that can help me. And the next one is fear. Fear is worry, doubt, nervousness, anxiety. And in fear, when we're typically not, from fear, we're not going anywhere in life. We're scared of everything. There's nervousness that's like, am I going to screw up? Am I going to do bad? Those tend to be, there's a lot of anxiety-ridden people because they have so much fear running in all these different parts of their life. These are all typically inward energies. Inward energies, okay? My sloppy inward, hope you guys don't mind. I'm gonna clean that up a bit. This is turning in on yourself. Apathy, oh, poor, I need help. I need to be fixed. I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do. Fear, these are inward energies. When we get up here, these are typically outward energies. This is pushing, another way you could say it. And again, today's video is ultimately going to be about up here because this is where we want to live. So we haven't got there yet. So in inward energies, there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of doubt, there's a lot of disbelief, there's a lot of, oh, whoa, this is my lot in life. This is Eeyore all the way down here. The Eeyore float, from Winnie the Pooh. How does he do it? The point. It's never going to work for me anyway, something like that. So that's that Eeyore energy. Now, when we get up here, this is wanting, desire, craving, needing. This is cockiness, arrogance, stuff like this. These energies are outward pushing energies. Down here, you try to do affirmations and they're not going to do anything. Like down here, I'm like, I'm happy. My life's good. I'm a millionaire. But your whole nervous system's going, yeah, Ray, your life sucks. Okay? And that's the feelings and the emotions that are driving all the thoughts, because these are the emotions. In here, though, especially when you start getting into anger and pride, you can start getting a lot done. That's the pushing energy. And you can see this in some really successful people. You see it a lot in athletes. You see it a lot in some famous people. I mean, think about the athletes out there right now think about like a Kobe Bryant or Shaquille O'Neal or Mike Tyson or people like this. How much pride do they have? They have a lot of pride and they can make a lot of money. They have a lot of success. This energy is a win-lose energy, okay? That's what it's all about. There's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser. Anger it can be destructive and it can be successful. Most of the time it's destructive. Some people actually use their anger to get a lot done and create some success, but then they tend to take themselves out at a certain level. So when you see people, successful people that have a lot of anger, I know that Dennis Rodman is a great example of an athlete that was really talented that took himself out because he kept getting angry a lot, or Mike Tyson. And they couldn't control their anger and it would take them down. So pride tends to work better than anger, but people get stuck at pride all the time. The place you really want to live is courage, acceptance, peace. This is where people like Branson. Think of Richard Branson, the billionaire that owns Virgin Airlines. He lives more in a courage and an accepting energy. And his life is easy. It just flows. Here, your life is about battles. Here, your life is about ease. When you think of Richard Branson, you think of here. When you think of somebody like Donald Trump, I think of here, more pride. When I think of somebody like Hillary Clinton, I think of here, more anger. And so you could see the difference in the results in their life and where they're at. As you go down the scale, this is where things get this is the average person in the world. This is where things get messier. A lot of people in the world that don't like their lives, that are just going to work day to day, grinding away at normal jobs, tend to live down here. Now, in releasing, if you understand it at all, it's a very simple process, but it goes very deep and it gets deeper and deeper. And the more you do it, the deeper you go. And the goal here is to release all of this ag flap so that all that's left is courage, acceptance, peace, and ultimately and eventually imperturbability. That would be the ultimate state, okay, of being. And the theory here in all the teachings is that every time I let go of a little bit of apathy, I automatically use courage to do it, and I rise into more acceptance of self, and you kind of rise up here. So every time I let go of one of these little emotions. So what happens is people start to learn this, and every day they're releasing down here. That's where they're taught to release. Can you welcome the fear? Can you welcome more fear? Maybe you have a lot of fear about your job, because you got a new job and you're scared to go to work. Can you welcome that fear? And can you welcome more of that fear? Now can you let go of some of that fear? Because you can't let go of something you haven't welcomed. And this is kind of the process. Can you welcome it? And can you let it go? If you want to learn more about that process, check out, again, our releasing programs, or check out Sedona Method or releasing as a whole. And they'll teach you how to start letting go. It's a very powerful process and can be very successful. But every once in a while, and actually more often than I like, I run into people that do a lot of releasing down here, and they do it day in and day out. Maybe in the beginning they get results. And then what happens is after a while, they just get frustrated and frustrated and frustrated and frustrated. And so it's pretty much always the same problem. And this is what solves this problem. And also, it's just a great practice, especially if you don't know much about releasing. Just start taking up this practice right away, because it can be a life changer. You see, the problem is with law of attraction and law of vibration. I saw this really quickly when I started to work at this, because I ran this through the natural laws. And if you haven't seen my videos on the natural laws, check that out. And when you put your primary focus down here, because you're doing all the releasing down here, this becomes your whole world. If the whole time I'm saying, can I welcome fear and let it go? Can I welcome grief and let it go? Can I welcome apathy and let it go? Can I welcome lust and let it go? But I never spend much time up here. Your subconscious mind doesn't have a relationship to courage, acceptance, peace. It can never get out of down here. It can never actually start existing up here. And the reason that is because by law of attraction, every time I let go of fear, and I'm heavily focused on fear, maybe the bulk of my energy is saying, I got to get rid of this fear, I got to get rid of this fear, I got to get rid of this fear. Then every time I let go of more fear, I have to find more fear, because what you focus on expands. Same with the reticular activating system of your brain. What you focus on expands. So if you're constantly releasing on grief, you're going to find more grief. You see, what I realized very quickly, and this was something that Lester Levinson, the guy that actually came up with this, actually did it a little different than it's being taught today. When he first figured this out, he said to himself, what does love feel like? Which is part of acceptance and courage. He said, I really just want to be happy. And happiness is all about love for him. And he said, it's when you're giving away love that you're ultimately the happiness. So he said to himself, what does love feel like? And he went through every memory he had of love. And he sat with them and he meditated on them until he could get a little experience of love, because he was miserable. He had been unhappy his whole life. And when he got this experience of love, he said, now that I've got this experience of love, what feels better, being loved or giving away love? And he realized that being loved was temporary, because people's emotions and mood change. But giving away love, he could control that. So he said, being loving is the key, which is a part of courage and acceptance. So he found all the places in his life he was being loving, all the memories, and he sat with those and meditated on those till he could recall them at will. And then the next thing he did was he took a look at his emotions. And the first emotion that came up was all this anger he had. Matter of fact, it was bordering on rage. This rage for this doctor that gave him a serious diagnosis for an illness. And so what he did was he sat there and he went and looked at that rage, and he said to himself, I want to do this as an experiment. And he said, can I, and he asked his subconscious mind, not his analytical mind, he just kind of relaxed a little bit. And he said, can I let go of this rage or hate or anger, I can't remember which emotion it was, and replace it with love? So do you see, he's literally starting up here. This is where it all started. He didn't start down here. He's starting up here and saying, can I let go of this to have more of this? That changes the law of attraction. He literally said, can I let go of this to have more of this? Now your focus is on this, and you're only looking at this long enough to let it go so you can get more of this. Whereas most people never look up here and they just spend all their time down here trying to let go of this. And by law of relativity, you can't do that. If this is all there is, you can never let it go. Only once you acknowledge this can you do that. And that's the mistake everybody's making. You have to reverse that order. And so when he was feeling the anger and he said, can I let go of this and replace it with love? Suddenly he said he felt this like sensation in his chest, and the anger started to dissolve. He didn't get love, but what he got, he said, was resentment, what he felt was lighter than the anger. And then the next thing he did was said, can I replace the resentment with love? And the resentment, which is part of anger, burned away. And pretty soon, all he was felt love for the doctor, which was very accepting. He was able to look at the doctor and say, I'm no longer angry at him. It just kind of dissolved away in his body because he tried it as an experiment. So the man, Lester, spent the next 3 months doing that with everything, nonstop, 24 hours a day, changed his whole life. His body actually healed. And instead of dying, which the doctors gave him a diagnosis of dying, he actually lived to be close to 90, 80 some years old, late 80s. And he's supposed to die at around 41. So what I want to say to people is that what you really want to start with is what he started with, getting in touch with these upper emotions. What do they feel like? Do you have any idea? Do you spend much time each day getting in touch with them? I currently have students every day read all the subtle emotions that go into these upper emotions and meditate on them just a little bit, even if it's for a few seconds each one. Find the ones that connect with you. You see, courage has a whole host of other emotions that go with it. There's a sense of adventure in courage, a sense of being alert, a sense of being alive. And acceptance has a whole host of emotions. And if you look at these emotions and you say, can I remember a time I ever felt alert? And what did that feel like? And how good did that feel? Where did I feel it in my body? And you meditate on that for a second, even if it's only 1%, a tiny little bit of feeling, that's really, really important for good releasing. Or can I remember a time that I felt alive? Can I remember a time I felt willing as we move up here more? Can I remember a time I felt acceptance in general? Can I remember a time I felt loving? And as you explore all these emotions, there's a lot of them, and you start to get in touch. If you only get in touch with a small percentage and every day you keep doing it inside of a week, inside of a month, you're going to start to realize that you have a greater relationship to these than you ever realized before, and it's going to start to become more conscious. As the relationship to these emotions become conscious, then when you go down to release these emotions, it becomes easier. Because now your subconscious knows, I'm letting these go to have more of this. And it starts to expand in your life rapidly. Everybody wants to spend all their time down here. But I'm going to encourage you to start by spending a lot of time up here. Matter of fact, if you're a beginner at Sedona Method, just meditate on this in the beginning. And if you do that every morning, for say a half hour every morning, watch how that alone will begin to change your life. You'll start to see the world in a new way. And then it'll become so much easier to let go of all of this, because now your body gets it. It has a place to go. So with that said, I'm going to encourage you to get a chart of emotions that breaks down all the subtle emotions that go with these. And you can get that through the Sedona Method book. You can get that by going online, looking up the cap chart of emotions, and you'll see how big the list really is. This is just a basic list. And I'm going to encourage you every day to start a practice for a month of just meditating on these emotions for a little bit, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, until you can start to feel your body waking up with that feeling. And when your body begins to wake up, it's going to start to change your life. Then you start your releasing. And that's the right way to do it. And after you begin your releasing, if you find that you're spending too much time down here and you're getting really heavy and you're not getting good releases, come back up here for a while again. And as soon as you start to feel lighter again, from that lighter feeling place, come back down here and start working again. And that's the key to changing your life, is releasing, especially if you're stuck. So I want to thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you liked it and you got these principles and you really understand them. If you don't understand releasing, I encourage you to learn more about it. It's one of the most powerful tools we have. Go to thefearlessman.com. In my opinion, releasing is one of the few things that one of the things that had such a radical impact on my life. I'll never give it up. I do it every day of the week. I do very deep versions of this. So again, make sure you check out releasing. Make sure you check out fearlessman.com. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And make sure you put comments in the video. I've been thinking more and more about just doing some videos where I do some releases and take you through releases so you understand the process. And so if you're interested in something like that, make sure you put that in the comments too. We respond to all the comments. We get video ideas from the comments, so they're very important to us. So with that said, also remember, only the confident really live. See you in the next video.
And that's a wrap for the art of letting go, how to release negative thoughts and emotions. We hope you found this video insightful and gained some valuable tips on how to improve your emotional well-being. before you go, we'd like to ask for a quick favor. If you enjoyed this video and found value in the content, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll never miss out on our future releases that aim to help you in various areas of your life. Simply hit the subscribe button. Join our community of like-minded individuals who are dedicated to self-improvement. We promise to continue providing you with high-quality content that will help you achieve your goals and live your best life. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in our next video. Don't forget to subscribe.